Mom.
Scoot over. You stop that right now.
Is it right here? Mom.
Shalom, you guys. So today I'm going to be teaching my children on the Day of Atonement, and another sister asked if I would that I would share my teachings with her, but she has to go on a rescue mission, so we're just going to do it live instead of doing a messenger. I've got all my scriptures printed here because I actually have a lot of scriptures to cover. So if you want to pause, if you're watching it later and you want to pause the video so that your children can turn their pages to the Bible where it's supposed to be, go ahead and do that. Kamari, can you get that pen out, please? Cut it on there. No.
One?
Yeah, one. So anyhoodle, we're going to start off in John 15:13, and all my scriptures are going to be coming from the KJV. And it says, greater love, is that on one?
Yes.
Go ahead and turn it off. It's too loud.
Huh?
Sorry, turn it off. Sorry. John 15:13. Greater love hath no man have than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. So it's pretty cool that we would have somebody love us enough to die for us. We know that our mother and father love us enough that they would die for us, right? You think mommy and daddy would die for you? Yeah? What about you, Nava?
Yeah.
Yeah, mommy and daddy would die for you. But that's pretty cool that you have a friend that loves you enough that your friend would die for you as well, right? So who are your friends? Tell me one of your friends, Kamari.
Me. Brother Vince.
Brother Vince? That's not one. That's two. Okay, so Brother Vince. Aria, who's one of your friends?
Gabby.
Gabby's one of your friends? That's your best friend, huh?
Yeah.
And Nala, who's your friend?
Brother
Brother Vince is your friend too? Brother Vince, you got a whole lot of friends, man. You real popular. So did you guys know that we can be friends with y'all too? Yeah? You did know that? What about you, Nava?
Yeah. Wait, no?
Yeah, we can be friends with y'all.
I thought that we have to serve him all the way because if we're just friends, then we want to serve him.
No, but being a friend with y'all is a good thing. Do you guys want to be friends with Yeshua?
Pretty much no, but we have to be family. Aren't we family instead
Yeah, but
of friends?
you're being too analytical, son. You can be friends and you can be family. Like, is Brittany my friend? Is Sister Brittany my friend? But is this Brittany family? Okay, so we can be friends and family, right? So to have Yeshua as our friend is so super amazing. So, let's read about what we need to do so that Yeshua can be our friend. Because there's some stipulations. Like, can we be mean to our friends? If we're mean to somebody, are they going to want to be our friends? No, they're not going to want to be our friends. So we have to be nice to our friends. So let's find out what Yeshua says about being his friend. Ye are my friends if you do John 15. And I did not write down the verse. I think it's John 15 and 16. You are my friends if ye do whatsoever I command you. So what kind of things were we commanded to do? What are some of the things?
Do not commit adultery.
So thou shalt not commit adultery, right? That's one of the 10 commandments. Come on, what's something else we were commanded to do?
Do not covet.
Yeah, thou shalt not covet. That's
Do
another.
not take Yahshua Mashiach's name in vain.
Do not take Yah's name in vain. That's a big one. Yeah. What's another one, Kamari?
Another one is do not make idols.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not have any idols. Yep, thou shalt not kill. So those are all some of the 10 commandments, right? And we can find the 10 commandments in Exodus 20. I'm not going to go over the 10 commandments because we have a lot of scriptures to cover. But we have, thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Thou shalt not make any idols. You shall not take the Lord's name in vain. Keep the Sabbath day and remember it holy. Honor your mother and father. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against your neighbor, which is to lie. And thou shalt not covet. So Yah sent his son to show us that he loved us. Because if he loves us, then we can be his friend. So if we look at John 3:16, it says, for Yah so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So Yah sent his son into the world for us. He didn't do that for them. He sent his son into the world so that we could have everlasting life. So Yeshua, when he was an adult, he spent every day of his life showing us how much he loved us, even though sometimes we didn't show him that we loved him back. So can you think of something, how one way that we didn't show Yeshua that we loved him back when he was here, walking on the earth?
One of the people,
Judas,
he betrayed him for some money, and then after they were gonna kill him, he didn't want the money. He killed himself.
Yeah. So he's talking about when when Judas betrayed Yeshua, and then after he realized the error of his ways, he tried to return the money, but the priests wouldn't. But the Pharisees wouldn't take the money back. So Yeshua, because he loved us, he died for us as a true friend would do. He stepped up to be an offering for us. So now we're going to read John 19. John 19 is a really long. Nava, sit still. John 19 is really long. I'm going to cover the whole story of the crucifixion. So if you have young children, I would just explain this to them. I wouldn't necessarily read the whole story because it's long. It's 41 verses. So Kamara, if you want to go to John 19. Okay. And I'm going to read, but you can just follow along. So go ahead. Like I said, if you have young children, skip ahead and just explain them the story. Then Pilate therefore took Yeshua and scourged him. And the soldiers plaited a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and they put him in a purple robe, and said, Hail, King of the Jews! And they smote him with their hands. Pilate therefore went forth again, and saith unto them, Behold, I bring forth unto you, that ye may know that I find no fault in him. So Pilate didn't think Yeshua did anything wrong, but the Jews wanted Yeshua crucified. Then Yeshua came forth, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. And Pilate saith unto them, Behold the man. When the chief priests therefore and officers saw him, they cried out, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, Take ye him, and crucify him, for I find no fault in him. The Jews answer him, We have a law, and by our law he ought to die, because he hath made himself the son of Yah. Did he make himself the son of Yah, or was he the son of Yah?
He was.
He was the son of Yah, but they didn't want to believe that. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he was more afraid. And he went again into the judgment hall, and saith unto Yeshua, Whence art thou? But Yeshua gave him no answer. And that right there, that is actually, we can see that in the Old Testament, because that's a prophecy that came to pass. Then saith Pilate unto him, Speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou that I have the power to crucify thee, and I have the power to release thee? Yeshua answered, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given to thee from above. Therefore, he that stoppeth Nava, sit up. He that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin. So Pilate was trying to tell Yeshua, like, hey, if you talk to me and, you tell me what's going on, I can let you go. Or I can deliver you to the Jews. And Yeshua told him plainly, you don't have any power over me. I have power over myself. And if I wanted to be let go, I will be let go. But it's so that the scriptures might be fulfilled, right? So everything has a plan and everything has a course. So Yeshua had to be crucified that the scriptures would be fulfilled. And from thenceforth Pilate sought to release him, but the Jews cried out, saying, If thou let this man go, thou art not a friend, thou art not Caesar's friend. Whosoever maketh himself a king speaketh against Caesar. That saying right there scared Pilate, because then Pilate thought about his own flesh, his own body. And if the Jews said that, then Pilate would be in trouble with Caesar. And Pilate did not want to be in trouble with Caesar. When Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Yeshua forth and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that was called the Pavement, but in Hebrew it was Gabbatha. And it was a preparation of Passover. And about the 6th hour he saith unto the Nava, go sit over there. Go with Brittany. Go with Brittany. Then sit down and stop putting your legs in the air.
What about the 6th hour?
Yeah. And they saith unto the, where am I? And it was a preparation day, about the 6th hour, and he saith unto the Jews, Behold your king. But they cried out, Away with him, away with him, crucify him. Pilate saith unto them, Shall I crucify your king? And the chief priests answered, We have no king but Caesar. Then delivered he him therefore unto them to be crucified. And they took Yeshua and led him away. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place of a skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, one on either side of Yeshua in the midst. And Pilate wrote the title and put it on the cross. The writing was, Yeshua of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. This title then read many of the Jews, for the place where Yeshua was crucified was nigh unto the city, and it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin. So Pilate wrote it in all the different languages because he wanted to make sure. Can you quiet her, please? Pick her up or something. He wanted to make sure that everybody understood that Yeshua was King of the Jews. Then said the chief priests of the Jews to Pilate, Write not King of the Jews, but write that he said, I am King of the Jews. Pilate answered, What I have written, I have written. Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Yeshua, took his garments and made 4 parts, to every soldier a part, and also his coat. And now the coat was without seam, woven the top throughout. That is also a prophecy that's in the Old Testament. They said therefore amongst themselves, Let us not rend it, but cast lots for it, whose it shall be, that the scripture might be fulfilled, which saith, They parted my raiment among them, and for my vestures they did cast lots. These things therefore the soldiers did. They were doing these things not even realizing that they were fulfilling scripture. Now there stood by the cross of Yeshua his mother, and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. When Yeshua therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by, whom he loved, he saith unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then saith he unto his disciples, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his home. And after this, Yeshua, knowing that all things were accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now there was a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon hyssop and put it to his mouth. Do you guys know what vinegar is?
They use it for like the rocket ships and stuff.
Yeah, you use it when we make rocket ships.
I love that story.
We make, I hope so. We make, when you want to make a rocket ship, you mix the vinegar with the baking soda. That's correct.
That's just
But
a
vinegar is really sour. Like vinegar is like sour like an orange. So if you were thirsty, or sorry, not an orange, but a lemon. If you were thirsty and you're like, oh, I'm thirsty, give me something to drink. Would you want somebody to give you a lime, just straight lime juice? No, not lemonade, no sugar, just lime. Would you want somebody to just give you lime juice if you were thirsty?
Unless I just like lime.
Well, I mean, yeah, you like limes, but if you're thirsty, the last thing you want to do is drink straight lime. You want to drink what? Water, right? So Yeshua said, I thirst, and they gave him...
drink apple juice.
That's not what I'm talking about. Yeshua said, I'm thirsty, and they gave him lime, and they put the lime on a sponge, or they put the, they didn't give him lime, they gave him vinegar, which is sour, like a lime. So when Yeshua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished, and he bowed his head, and he gave the ghost. So Yeshua died. The Jews, therefore, because it was a preparation, that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath day was a high day, so it was a holy day, because we know it was Passover and unleavened bread, right? Feast of unleavened bread. Besought Pilate that their legs might be broken, and that they might be taken away. So, because remember, it was Yeshua in the middle, and then you had 2 other criminals on each side of Yeshua. So they wanted their legs to be broken and then to get taken off the cross, because it was going to be a holy day. Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first and of the other which was crucified with him. But when they came to Yeshua, they saw that he was dead already, and they brake not his legs. But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water. And he that saw it bare record, and his record is true. And he knoweth that he saith true, and he knoweth that he saith true, that he might believe. For these things were done that the scriptures might be fulfilled. A bone of him shall not be broken. Now that's really important that we focus on the fact that a bone was not broken. There's a lot of things that happen in these 41 verses that I read that are in the scriptures. These are scriptures coming to pass and being fulfilled. Now we're going to go to the Old Testament, and we're going to go to where Yah is instructing Moses on how to keep the Day of Atonement. So I want you to turn to Leviticus 23 and 27.
Leviticus, we just read them right there.
Okay. Leviticus 23, chapter 23, verse 27. Also, on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and you shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So on the 10th day of the 7th month, which is today, is the Day of Atonement. It's a holy convocation. And ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. So I want you guys to say, make an offering.
Make an offering.
Make an offering.
Make an offering. Get off of me so you can sit up and pay attention. So, and remember that because it's important, right? So everybody say it again. Make an offering.
Make an offering.
Yeah, make an offering. So now we're going to continue with Leviticus 23, picking up at verse 28. Put your legs down. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your Yah. And for whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. So on the Day of Atonement, are we allowed to work?
No.
No, we're not. Why are we not allowed to work?
Because it's like the Sabbath.
Because it's like a Sabbath. It's a high Sabbath, so it's like an even more important Sabbath. And whatsoever soul that be that doeth any work in that same day, that soul shall I destroy from among his people. Do we want to be destroyed?
But people are still out there walking around in the car.
Yeah, there are people, but they don't know. But when we know, we have to do better. To whom much is given, much is required. And to whom much more is given, much more is required. So we know that we have to keep this Day of Atonement today. And next year we have to keep it again. And the year after that we have to keep it again and again and again. Every year we have to keep the Day of Atonement because
We won't ever stop.
Yes.
Until we die.
Yep, that's right. Because we have to keep it because it is a Day of Atonement. It's a feast forever. Everybody say forever.
Forever.
So does forever stop?
No.
It keeps going and going and going. So every year we have to keep atonement. Yep.
I love you.
So not only do we have to keep it and we can't work, we can't do our own pleasure. So can we watch TV on the Day of Atonement?
No.
Can we play games on the Day of Atonement?
No.
Can we go outside and ride our bike on the Day of Atonement?
No.
Okay, so this is...
That's a part of the 10 Commandments, actually.
Yeah, keep this out. So this is a day that we focus... Stop it. It's not the Ariel show. This is a day that we focus on him, right? So what phrase did I tell you to remember? Make
an offering.
Make an offering. Everybody say make an offering.
Make an offering.
So the reason why I told you to remember that because it's important. So now we're going to talk about the rules of an offering. Because back in the day, in the Old Testament, the Israelites had to make offerings. And the offerings were made of what? Oftentimes they're made of what?
Sheep.
Animals, right. So Yah explains these rules to Moses in Leviticus chapter 1, verse 3.
Leviticus
Chapter 1, verse 3.
Wait.
If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. So let him offer a male without blemish. A blemish is like sickness or disease, or maybe his fur is all messed up. So he needs to be a male, right? And he needs to have no blemish.
Oh, wasn't there a story about like the Most High was testing somebody out, and then like
Yeah, you're talking about Abraham when he told him to sacrifice his son. but he didn't do it. But that's different. So save that for later. Okay. So let's figure out if Yeshua checks out as our offering for sin, right? So 1 Peter 1, verse 19. But put your legs on. But with the precious blood of Christ, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot. 1 Peter 2 and 22. Who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. So we see with an animal, right? The animal couldn't have a blemish. The animal's legs couldn't be broken. The animal couldn't be sick. He couldn't be lame. He had to be a perfect animal, right? To be a sacrifice. So in like manner, for our atonement now, Yeshua has to be perfect, right? So is Yeshua a male? Keep your legs down.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a male. Was he without blemish or sin?
No.
Yes, Yeshua was. Were you listening?
How was Yeshua? I thought the Bible said that he was always good.
That's what I said. Is he without sin?
No.
Yes, he is without sin. Yeshua.
That's what the first answer I said yes.
No, you said no.
I said that was Ariel who said no.
No, you said no.
I didn't even say
Facebook, he said no. So, exactly, she didn't say anything. 1 Peter 2 and 22. Who did no sin, neither was God found in his mouth. So Yeshua did not sin, right? Yeah. Yeshua was not sick, right? Yeshua had no spot or blemish. Yeshua was a perfect sacrifice. Hebrews 10, verses 5 to 7. If you're just clicking on the reason I have all my scriptures printed here because I have a lot of scriptures to cover, and I didn't want to make this video unnecessarily longer than it needed to be for children. Hebrews 10, verses 5 through 7. Wherefore, when he cometh in the world, he saith, a sacrifices and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared for me. Because Yeshua was so tired of the Israelites. They were always sinning, and they were always giving sacrifices. And every time they do something, oh, okay, I did something, here's a sacrifice, here's a sacrifice. And Yah was like, you know what? I don't want your sacrifices anymore. Your sacrifices stink. Oh, they're horrible. I don't want your sacrifices. So those sacrifices weren't working anymore. And burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin, thou hast no pleasure, right? Y'all didn't like them anymore. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O Yah. So Yeshua came to fulfill a lot of things. The whole Bible is about love, but we find Yeshua all throughout the Bible.
It's true.
Put your shirt down, please.
All the names of the Bible, Hebrews and everything, John, John the Baptist, they all have his name all written in it.
A lot of them do. So Israel, like I said, was killing animals. Yah was tired of their animals. He didn't want their sacrifices anymore. So he sent his son to show his love for us. Now, Yeshua was and he is our offering for our sin. Because of him, when we sin, Yeshua stands in the gap for us. And we can see that at 1 John chapter 2, verses 1 through 2.
Are you going to get that?
You can go ahead and turn. I'm going to keep going. My little children, these things I write unto you, that ye sin not. And if any man sin, so focus, it says sin not. It doesn't say just sin, right? But if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father. And an advocate is like a friend. So we have a friend with the Father. Yeshua HaMashiach, the righteous. And he is our propitiation for our sins, and not for ours only, but also the sins of the whole world. And a propitiation is like to ease. So Yeshua stands in the gap for us when we sin, and is the same way. So Yeshua is to us as the animal sacrifices were to the Israelites in the Old Covenant. And it's to ease our sin.
Wait, excuse me, Mom. Is that why there was two other people that were by him that stand? That's why Yeshua was standing in the gap.
No, because it says that one of the men that were crucified with him, that they repented of the sins that they had did, but the other one didn't. So Yeshua's here, right, for us. He's here to be our friend, and he's here to stand in the gap for us. But we have to receive him. We can't turn a blind eye to the things that he asks us to do, because it says, if you love me, you will do what? You'll keep my what?
Word.
His will, his commandments, or his words. So we have to do something. But there's tons of people in the world who do not do the will of the Father, who do not keep the commandments. So Yeshua's there for them if they want him. If they want to do righteous, Yeshua's there for them. But if they're going to do wicked, then Yeshua's not there for them. So does this mean that since Yeshua's there for us, does it mean that we can sin all willy-nilly? We can just do whatever we want to? No, it doesn't. Of course not. If we sin, then we can't be friends with Yeshua, right? Because it says, if you're my friend, then you'll keep my commandments. So in order to be his friend, we have to keep his commandments. And if we keep his commandments, then he's our friend and he stands in the gap for us. So it's all linked together like a big circle. You can't have one part without the other. So if we're not Yeshua's friend, he's not going to stand in the gap for us. And we can see that we have to be perfect, or that we need to keep his commandments in Matthew 5:48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. So there's going to be a lot of people in life who are going to say, you don't have to be perfect. But how does that make sense? If Yah told us to be perfect, then why would we say we don't have to be perfect? Are we going to make mistakes? Yes, we're going to make mistakes. But
and that's why the Most High gave us chances to get forgiveness.
Yeah, he gave us mercy, and he gives us chances to get our lives right. So if we are perfect, then we can be a part of Yah's gathering. He's coming to gather a clean and holy and righteous people. So if we're sinners, are we clean?
No.
If we're sinners, are we holy?
No.
If we're sinners, are we righteous?
No.
No, so we can't be a part of the gathering. Do you guys want to be a part of Yah's gathering?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to be a part of it. So Ephesians 5:27, that he might present to himself a glorious church, and we know that the word church is it's not the correct translation, but a glorious synagogue or a glorious gathering, right? Not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that it should be a holy and without blemish. So we ourselves have to be perfect. We ourselves, like Yeshua, have to be without spot, without wrinkle, or without any such thing, so that we can be holy and without blemish, and we can be a part of his gathering. So we have to be perfect. Now, you've made mistakes, and you've made mistakes, and I've made mistakes, and Nava's going to make mistakes. But it's important that when we make these mistakes, we look critically at ourselves, right? And we figure out how we can move forward in life, how we can continue to grow with Yah and not to make these mistakes. So if I'm out with my friends, and my friends are stealing things, and I know my friends steal, and one day I steal something with them too, is that going to make Yah happy?
No.
No, that would not make Yah happy. Because why?
Because
the commandment says not to steal.
Yeah, thou shalt not steal.
And plus, when you shouldn't be by people that like to do bad things, but that
yeah,
makes
I'm gonna get to that in a minute. That's right, Kamari. So me being with my friends, if I don't normally steal, and then I'm with my friends, right, and then my friends are stealing, so I steal, and then I feel convicted afterwards because the scriptures hit me and it says, thou shalt not steal. Going forward, if I don't want to steal, then it's really important that I probably not hang out with friends that do those things. Because if I go out with those friends again and they steal, then I'm probably going to feel pressured to steal with them again and again and again and again and again. But if I love Yah and I want to keep his commandments, right, and I don't want to steal, then I need to find a new group of friends. You guys understand? So that's like, if I was in that position, that's a goal. You know what? I stole this one time. Yah, forgive me for stealing. I know your commandment says thou shalt not steal. I don't want to steal anymore. So my goal is to not hang out with those friends that steal, because I don't want to do those bad things. So that's what we're going to work on. Me and my children today are going to work on vision boards. And in this vision board, we're going to talk about their positive characteristics, and then we're also going to talk about their negative characteristics, so their characteristic flaws. And we're going to take the flaws and we're going to look at our flaws critically, and we're going to We're going to look at our flaws critically, and we're going to figure out how. Can you please sit up? Sit appropriate like a young lady. Thank you. We're going to look at our flaws critically, and we're going to figure out how we can set goals and put things in place to help us overcome these flaws, because oftentimes our characteristic flaws are sin. So one of mommy's characteristic flaws is mommy likes to get mad about something, and then mommy will be mad about that thing all day long. So mommy really needs to work on, you need to put your legs down or keep your dress down. Mommy really needs to work on not being mad all day long, which kind of goes with forgiveness, right? So mommy needs to work on forgiving. Also, if you look at love, love is patient and love is kind. So those are things that mommy, so when mommy will write a goal, mommy's goal would for that would be like, let me think. When I get mad at someone, I'm going to work on praying for that person and praying for myself. And hopefully after I get done praying, then I will feel better, and then I won't have to be mad all day. Do you guys see how that works? So hopefully you guys can do this with your children. I think it's important to write these things down, and you can put them on a board. That way they can see them and they can have them to work on all year long. Because next year when we get back to Atonement, right, we don't want to be repenting for these exact same things, right? We don't want to be still being mad at people all day long. We have to figure out a way to overcome these things. So we're going to focus on these things all year long and make sure that by the next time that we come back to Atonement, that we are better people, that we are better sons, we are better daughters, we are better mothers, we are better brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah,
so,
and we're going to be a better father and a better woman.
Yeah, well, I can't be a father, but he can be a father, right?
You can be a woman. You can be a woman.
Yes, I could be a better mother. There's always ways that we can improve. So hopefully that was helpful for you and your little peoples today. I hope you guys have a great Shabbat or a great high Sabbath, and we shall see you soon.
Make burnt offerings.
No, we don't make burnt offerings anymore. Yeshua's our offering. We don't have a need for burnt offerings because where are you going? Yah didn't like the burnt offerings. He didn't want those anymore. That's why he gave us Yeshua.
Oh,
so I love you guys
sad.
to Yah and back. Shalom.
Yeah, big thumbs up.
I already saw a thumbs up from somebody. Some of you guys gave us thumbs up. I know.